what are you doing with my V-block?
This is yours? I was just in your toolbox. I saw it.
You're in my toolbox.
I
are you
needed
doing in my
another screwdriver.
toolbox?
I was looking for the lost screwdriver.
Yeah, the one that you took about 3 weeks ago and didn't return. Well, let's talk a little bit about what a V-block does. Do you know what it does or why you use it?
Not really. I mean,
Okay.
to give you the definite definition, no.
Okay, well, the idea of it is to hold something generally, not always, but generally round.
Okay.
And by the way, I made this V-block when I was a kid. And I put a little piece of brass down here so it wouldn't mar the item that I'm holding. Anyway, the idea of this is to, say you wanted to grind this end,
Okay.
and you want to grind it square with the cylinder. You would hold it in a V-block like this.
Okay.
You could put it on a surface grinder and grind it. That's one thing you could do with it. If you wanted to grind the other end, then you'd merely loosen it, turn it around.
Thus the definition of work hold.
Correct. And you could grind this end. Now you know it's going to be square with the V-block because the V-block itself is square.
Is square.
Now, we haven't proved that, but I know that it is, and we could prove it by checking it for squareness.
Right.
I put 2 V's in there, one on each side, one for bigger, for larger diameters, one for smaller diameters. The other thing you can do is, say you wanted to grind a flat on here, and you wanted to grind a flat on each side. Well, you can put it in a surface grinder, like so, grind this side. Say you want to put a flat on there that's 20 thousandths deep, you grind 20 thousandths off, turn it over and grind 20 thousandths on this side.
Wow.
And now you know that because this V is centered, the V-block is centered to both sides,
Right.
and it's parallel to the bottom.
Okay.
So we know we're going to get a good 20 thousandths flat in there.
Yeah.
So that's another thing you could do with the V-block. It's really pretty versatile. There's a lot of things you could do with it.
These little grooves in here are
For holding, if you want to put this down and clamp it on a milling machine,
okay.
or
okay.
clamp, how about this? Suppose you want to clamp it on an ID grinder.
Okay.
Now, this is kind of interesting. I put a hole in here, like so, that I know is absolutely dead center
On this block.
on this block. So it's centered, not only are the V's centered to the top and the bottom of this, or the sides rather, but I put that hole in there the same way. So that hole happens to be exactly on dead center.
Dead center.
So if I wanted to grind a hole, let's say that, as an example, I would put this on the faceplate of an ID grinder, and I would clamp it on the ID grinder face, and I would put an indicator in here and tram this to make sure that it's dead centered.
Okay.
Once I get that, now I know that I'm true, and I can take this item, let's say we're going to grind this hole right here, and I would line it up, put an indicator on there in the ID grinder, and it's kind of hard to explain this. We probably should show it out in the field. But anyway, once I get that indicated, I can then come in there, picture this going around like so on the face of the ID grinder,
Oh, wow.
and I'm going to come in there with a grinding wheel, and I'm going to grind that little hole.
Right.
And then I know when I take that out of there, I know that it's dead center, right to left.
Okay.
That's why the hole's in there. So that's another thing you can do with the V-block. So it's really a versatile tool. Again, anytime you wanted to mill something or grind something and you need to clamp it down, you can clamp it vertically, horizontally. And it's a great tool particularly for milling and for surface grinding.
Okay.
What do you think of that?
I think it's pretty cool. When I first started wrapping these, it looked like the University of Michigan logo, right?
It says Don Bailey right on there.
Oh, did you go to University of Michigan?
No? Well, yes, sort of.
No tribute to them.
So a V-block is a great thing, and it's, as a tool maker, it's a really handy tool that you have to have as a part of your equipment. It's,
Yeah, it is.
to me, it's like having Allen wrenches. You got to have Allen wrenches. And more importantly, it's even like having a screwdriver, which I don't have. By the way, where's my screwdriver?
I'm still cleaning them. He wants them cleaned up, put back in his box.
Now, what he did, he took my screwdrivers, he took 2 of them out of my set. So I went in there, 3 of them. I went in there to use them, and I said, where the hell are my screwdrivers? I looked in his box. Where do you think I found them? Right where they shouldn't be.
They're being used.
So anyway, that's a story about a V-Block. If you have more questions about us, shoot us a text or an email. We'll be glad to respond to it. So as always, we want to thank you folks for watching. It's always a pleasure doing the videos for you. We welcome your comments. Pick us up on Facebook, Twitter, where else? I don't know. Instagram,
Instagram, yeah.
whatever.
Twitter.
Or on our website. So thanks again for watching, folks. Appreciate it.